Brought to you by our sponsors, William Richmond Inc., Chesapeake's Bounty, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, McNellis Group Properties, the Southern Maryland Food Truck Festival, R.E. Graves Heating and Air Conditioning, and G&H Jewelers. Live from the JB Weather Center, this is a weather alert update. Alright, and hello everyone, I'm forecaster John Bordash back with you to give you a quick update here from the Weather Center on what it is we're looking at across the region as the evening begins to take shape and really where we stand with our severe weather threat. What you see right now is a loop over the last hour of radar as we've begun to see storms fire up. And like we mentioned earlier about, I want to say when we went live last at 3 o'clock and throughout the day and even yesterday, we were talking about that threat of thunderstorms to potentially be focused to the north of our region. Sure enough, that's what we've seen so far today. Let's go ahead and give radar a pause right now. And what I do first want to show you, and actually it's probably a little easier if I show you this way. These areas shaded in blue, these are all the areas under that severe thunderstorm watch until 9 o'clock. So that does include all of our region. Now, coming back over here towards live radar, what we're going to notice is that we do have a couple of these orange polygons. That represents severe thunderstorm warnings. That's where we do have strong to severe thunderstorms currently ongoing. And we've begun to notice almost like we had said earlier, a broken line of storms. Generally, if I can zoom out and kind of show you all through this, we're kind of looking at that, really setting up right up along here. And the general movement of these storms is going to be from southwest on over towards the north and east. So these aren't moving due eastward. What they're doing is a process in which we call training, and that means that these storms are probably going to move over some of the same areas continuously. So the question is, as these gradually work eastward, but more northeastward, but gradually eastward, are we able to keep them intact long enough by the time they get to us to actually, be a thing? And I'm a little skeptical of that, but that threat is still there. What I do want to show you is Futurecast, which I think does do a good job of showing what that threat is of us, of the weather for tonight. So let me go ahead and get Futurecast loaded up here. Let's go ahead and get her loaded. Let's turn off the radar. Let's get some of these watches off and go ahead and get over towards that model data, which will really help, I think, tell the story for what we're going to be seeing as we head on through the day or the evening coming up. So let's go ahead and get that loop loaded up. And it should be all good to go. So this is how Futurecast kind of initialized over at about 4 o'clock. You can see those scattered storms we were talking about earlier that we have right now. It's showing them. And as we push Futurecast forward here towards 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock, it continues that line, and these storms don't really move all that much, gradually eastward, but more north than east. And then maybe by 8, 9 o'clock, we're able to get some of them in here. We'll see, though. The reason we aren't going to be the focal point of any severe weather today is because the greatest atmospheric forcing to help produce these storms, help to kick them off, is to our north. So as we continue to push this on through by about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, I mean, we're talking maybe some showers if this model is right, and then eventually overnight tonight, maybe early tomorrow morning, we begin to see some rain begin to push into the region. So the severe weather threat, as I've been saying really since yesterday, the greatest threat is really to the north and west of us, and that's where we're looking at this really to be coming together. But that threat is still there. The threat definitely is not zero by any stretch of the imagination. As I get you back over here towards live radar to show you what we are currently looking at, let's go ahead and get that all loaded up. Now we gotta switch gears again. Let's throw radar on. Let's get our watches and warnings on. And really, it's been north and west of us where we have the focal point for just about all of the activity. All these orange boxes are all severe thunderstorm warnings. And typically, when we have a line like this, we're watching it move further eastward. But I don't think that's going to be the prominent direction for this. It's really northeastward as things continue to move through. We are looking at rain to the south. Another area of atmospheric forcing across the region. We have one gradually up here near Baltimore. Another area is down here along the Virginia Beach area, southern portions of the Delmarva, this area where we currently have rain. We're kind of caught in between the two, where we have these storms to the north that might not make it far enough south to us. We'll see what this little guy out here does, this line over toward Charlottesville, and then we're going to play the game if the area down to the south of us is able to push up enough moisture into our region. We've seen a couple of scattered showers and thunderstorms, and I put this in motion for you here over the last hour. I don't know if we'll be able to, if it'll come up here. But we did have a little shower push up here across southern parts of St. Mary's County. We have another little shower storm kind of developing over here near Cobb Island. So we're seeing some activity. It's definitely not anything I would classify worthy of a storm. So, yeah, that's what we're going to continue to watch. And some of these storms on up towards the north, they have been showing some upper level signs of rotation. We've seen a couple of them do this, but we haven't seen any tornado warnings today. That tornado threat, it's non-zero, but it definitely isn't super high today. I really think the main threat with anything, especially if you have any interest north and west of D.C., up towards Baltimore, back down towards the Blue Ridge, I-81, I think the main threat really is going to be heavy rain, and then the secondary threat will be damaging winds, and maybe, that next layer of threats would then be potentially one or 2 weak spin-up tornadoes. But right now, the worst of the weather is really to the north and west. Much of our region is looking quiet, so we'll continue to watch this. I think if we do see anything, I think that would probably move in after 6 o'clock, maybe a little later, closer towards sunset. We'll see. But yeah, this is pretty much, if you've lived around here long enough, this is kind of the way we always do things around here, where either we are too far south for something or we're too far north for something, and today we are, right in the middle of, or right in between these two areas. But we'll continue to watch. I'll continue to keep you updated with the latest information. Facebook and Twitter are definitely the best ways to get updates. I would say Twitter is probably a little bit better of a way, but updates all the way around. So stay tuned. I'll continue to keep you updated. But I'm forecaster John Bordash. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. I'll continue to keep you updated. If we get any warnings or need to update this forecast, and I'll be back here with you live to give you that update. But until next time, I'm forecaster John Bordash. Have a nice and safe one. And keep it tuned right here.